Good day everyone, this is teacher Nori. In this video, we are going to learn about interdependence in ecosystem and preservation and conservation of the environment. Interdependence in ecosystem. An ecosystem is an area where living things interact with their physical environment. The living things in an ecosystem is adapted to the conditions in the area. Organisms in an ecosystem are organized into different levels. We have producers, those that can make their own food like plants and algae. Consumers, those that rely on other organisms for food like carabao and lion. And decomposers, those that digest organic matter to become soil like worms and fly. This illustration shows us how organisms in a forest share their resources. At the root and litter zone, we have bacteria, earthworms, wood lice, and fungi. At the trunk part, we have insects and larvae. And at the branches and leaves, we have bees, wasps, moths, squirrels, blue tits, and hawks. All organisms in an ecosystem depend on each other. If the population of one organism rises or falls, then other organisms will also be affected. This dependence can be shown using a food chain. An example of a food chain is grass eaten by a goat, and the goat is eaten by man. This can be illustrated by the following. Grass is eaten by the goat, and the goat is eaten by the man. The arrows here points to the organism that eats the other organism, and it also shows us how energy is transferred from one organism to the one that ate them. Knowing the food chain in an ecosystem can help us understand how balance is maintained in an area. Another example of food chain is flowers whose nectars are taken by the butterflies, and butterflies are eaten by frogs. Then the frogs are eaten by snakes. In this food chain, if the butterflies are gone, the flowers will no longer have a chance to make seeds. Thus, new, no new plants will grow. The frogs will also die because it will have no food to eat. If the frogs are gone, then the snakes will also have no food to eat. If the snakes are gone, the number of frogs will increase and will eat all the butterflies. Then the flowers will also be affected. Introducing new plants or animals through human intervention in an ecosystem can also have irreversible effects. The new organism may take over the task of one or more organisms and replace them. This will alter the organization of the food chain. The nutrients in the soil can also determine the kinds of plants that can grow on it, and the kinds of plants in an area can help determine the kind of animals that can live there. Preservation and conservation of the environment. In order to prolong our use of the environment, we must learn how to take care of it. We can do so by preserving and conserving our resources. Preservation means stopping the use of resources to let it survive for a longer period of time. What we usually preserve are areas that has not been touched by humans. Conservation means controlling the use of a resource to give time for it to heal and grow back in number until the next use. We usually do this for plants and animals that we use and have continuous need for. One way of preserving our environment is by making preservation sites, like sanctuaries. These are areas protected by man, but they do not interact with the organisms in it unless needed. To conserve our resources, we can learn to recycle materials, use less of our resources, and find more sustainable resources aside from the ones we are currently using. Sustainable resources are ones that can be easily replaced or ones that are renewable. And that is the end of our video. Thank you for watching. Until next time!